Hey, what's up? It's Mary Jane. Can you guys please subscribe to my channel? It'd be greatly appreciated. And can you like the video? It'd be greatly appreciated too as well. We're going to be talking about the first family of hip hop. Season 1, episode 8, the finale. Hey! So anyways, we start off with Leon talking to his daughter, Sasha, his youngest daughter. And he helps her with her homework. She asks him what's 12 times 12. He says he don't know. Then he goes, oh, he gives her the answer. She was like, oh, okay, thanks, Dad. He goes, let me talk to you for a minute, Sasha. I don't know who to pick to run this company, and she was like, Rondo. I think she kind of chose Rondo and Leah, I believe. But if not, correct me. So he says Rondo's not the sharpest pencil. He's not the sharpest at all, basically. And he goes, Darnell is argumentative. He has a really high ego. And he says Leah is she's smart. She's probably a good choice because women are structured better, basically. They have more to them, I guess, he says to the daughter. And so I believe at the end Sasha said, well, then Leah, then Dad, I don't know. And then he also says, what about you, Sasha, or whatever. So but what did stick out to me, he didn't say Chanel's name, aka Lady Luck. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. So then we get a scene with Leah trying on wigs. She likes the ratchet wig, but she does not choose the ratchet wig to wear, because this episode, we finally get to see the guys perform to show their father, Big Lee, that they're ready to run the company or whatever. And Rondo is putting all the production and the performance together. He's picking a place and everything. But we also get a scene with Darnell. He goes to a big meeting. He's by himself, no entourage. And the people that he's meeting with notices as well. Then as you see Darnell walk in and enter the building, there's like a lot of writing and tagging on the wall. You see Remy Ma's name. So I guess a lot of artists came down this road and tagged their name on the wall. So basically Darnell meets up with the Fox director of music programming choice, like music choice on your cable box or whatever. It's in 50 million homes, and they play Darnell's song. Darnell gets up, he starts popping his shoulders, dancing a little bit to the music. And then the lady Jotty says, when's the album coming out? So basically the director of music choice said, see, you already got fans. They want more music. And it was like, oh, what type of music we can put this song on that Darnell was playing. And they was like, well, it could be on our 3 different channels that we have. So that is a big plus. That's a big opportunity. It shows you that Darnell is determined. It shows you that Darnell has a business sense, and he's trying to promote his brand and himself, which is a good sign and is a plus, because he's always whining. But speaking of whining, he's in a meeting and he whines again, crying. I don't want to say crying, but talking about his Uncle Joey and him passing away, and basically he locked himself in the studio and he created music. And like his father said, Big Lee is I'm tired of you running around these streets acting like Joey was your father. He wasn't, So anyways, Darnell's still on that tip. But when you're close to somebody and you love somebody, that's just how it is when they passed away and they're gone, But after the meeting's over, it gave Darnell the confidence that he needed. He said, he doesn't have to wait for his daddy, give him confidence, or waiting for his daddy to give him approval. He feels stronger now. He feels more determined that he can do this, that he's the man, basically. And Darnell feels that he's the one that can run Sugar Hill. Like, hands down, there's no competition. He can run Sugar Hill, basically. And Darnell really just wants to prove to his father that he's a music genius, I guess, and he has what it takes to run the company. So now we get to Rondo. Rondo's with his partner or whoever's helping him throw this event for the presentation for Big Leonard Leon. Oh, Leon. Leon. So, the place is called SOBs and everything, but I'm also missing Lady Luck proposed to Samaya. It was really nice. They met at a restaurant and they had dessert first, and she snapped her fingers for the cake, snapped her fingers for the ring, and Samaya said yes. So now they're engaged. But I also want to say they did a cutback scene to Lady Luck and her mom, and Lady Luck says, "Did you think I was gonna get married? Not to a woman. I thought it was gonna be a man." And then Lady Luck goes, "Come on." She goes, "Oh yeah, I knew," and they joke. But it's like mommy throwing a little shade, like being sarcastic, almost as if she didn't know her own daughter was gay. God damn it. So, anyways, so now, Rondo's at the SOB's place and they're getting everything together. The place is really small, but you know what? It probably was affordable because it was really small. They didn't have multiple dressing rooms or even a dressing area. Just everyone's going to be down there basically changing. And, some of the people are not going to be happy. Then Rondo said, yeah, we got ego and we have egos and divas. Ego number 1, Leah. Ego number 2, Darnell. Ego number 3, Chanel, basically. And it's almost like Rondo has not forgiven Chanel because she wanted her publishing back and she didn't want the service of him receiving her publishing or anything like that. And it's like he's still holding on to that because he mentions that. He says, when Chanel arrives to the SOBs, she's carrying her clothes, she's with Samaya, and she was like, okay, so where do we change at? Where do we get dressed up at? What the fuck? But he's like, and then the partner with Rondo was like, see? And Rondo says she's already on a short rope, a short leash. She's already on one half of a leg with him because if it wasn't for Big Lee asking him to forgive her and blah, blah, blah. But, basically he's halfway fucking with her, basically what he's saying. So that means that he's still holding a grudge. He's still angry at someone that wants their publishing, someone that wants to own their masters. And business, you should respect something like that. And also that she's your family and you feel slighted by it. And it's just, wow, too much. And he's young to have that much type of, it almost seems he has a little hatred or distaste for Chanel. And it's not cool. So basically Darnell shows up. Darnell is at SOBs. He's downstairs talking to Rondo, and Rondo is all like, here is the lineup for tonight. And then Darnell looks at him and was like, oh, Leah's going first and I'm going last. I'm cool or whatever. He was like, but Leah is not going to be feeling that. She's not going to like that. So basically Rondo says, well, whatever, whoever don't like it, they don't want to perform, then fuck it, they don't perform, because this is it, basically. And with that attitude, it's not a good business attitude, because basically you want to make sure everybody is set and happy, so when they go on, they perform, they do a good job, and then you get recommended, and you have a good name for yourself. Just saying fuck it is not cool. But since it's a family thing, I believe that's why he probably has that attitude. But it's not cool or business-like, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not a music producer. I don't run a label. You know what I'm saying? So, this is all my opinion. So, then Leah comes in, and then Leah's like, oh, what are you talking about? And then Rondo says, oh, we're talking about how you're going to do a wonderful performance. You're going to do great. She goes, cut the bullshit. And he was like, no, look at the lineup. And Darnell's making faces like, oh, she's gonna get you a new one. She's gonna tear you or rip you a new one. And she goes, oh, I'm first. I'm first. And then he goes, and she goes, I'm first. He goes, huh. I hate when people do that. They say, huh, because they're trying to think of something to say. And he did think of something to say. He goes, since we have 2 live bands, I figure you go on first. Darnell goes on last. And Darnell chimes in and say, I'm going last. So, people gonna forget about me. And then I kind of gives Leah a little bit more confidence, and she doesn't see it as being slighted. And so she goes, okay, no problem then. And then Rondo said, you was right. And then Leah says, whether I go first or last, I'm going to slay it. I'm going to kill this shit. Ain't nobody better than me, But also in Rondo's confession, he says that only competition he has is Darnell, because Darnell kind of know the ins and out of the business, because he was really tight with Joey. So that's a compliment, and that's something that I'm glad he did realize. But he feels that Chanel is no competition at all, and he says whether Chanel blows the roof off this motherfucker, she would never be running Sugar Hill, never. And he's probably correct, because like Chanel has said, that she feels like every time she turns around, the Robinsons are always making it harder for her, treating her like a stepchild, treating her just like crap, like she don't exist, like she's not talented, like she's not Lady Luck, basically. And so, and you kind of see this behavior from Darnell and Rondo the most. You don't really see this behavior from Leo, that's in jail, and Antonio or Sasha. And speaking of Leo does call and talks to his father, Leon. And then the father says, oh, I heard you like the cornbread. And Leo is laughing over the phone. So, and basically they're talking. So it's good that they chimed him into the scene. And he doesn't sound terrible, because the last episode he was crying. And it was really deep and emotional, the last episode. So, moving on from that, Darnell feels like his presentation will be the best. And that's it. And also, Rondo has not practiced at all for this DJ competition. He only spent one day basically to learn. And that's also not a good characteristic to have, especially if you want to put on this presentation that you guys are ready to run this company. Even though you got the place, the venue, and everyone's going to perform, you should have also taking care of your side of the deal with this competition, to make sure that you did your best, and you can be a part of every aspect, whether it's producing, managing, DJing, hosting, party planner. That's what Leon said about Rondo later on in the episode. So it also gives Leon, the thinking that, okay, he talks about this battle for almost a week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and he hasn't even practiced. And how hard is it to get a venue and get microphones and food and stuff like that, where you can't spend time really preparing yourself for a DJ competition, because all this you're going to be judged on. And I believe if it wasn't his uncle, he probably would have practiced more. He probably would have put more thought into it to make sure every aspect and part of this presentation, for Big Lee to choose a successor, he would have probably put more work into it as far as his part as the big DJ competition, that he adamantly said that he was going to win, and he's better than Big Lee. So anyways, so Chanel and Samaya, they do their thing. And Chanel also says in her confessional that, none of these children can hold a candle to the talent that she has, basically. And you also see Leah says, whatever, like Leah doesn't really care that she's not close to Chanel anymore. And that really irks me, because they were good together, basically. The music and the songs that she performed was good, especially the song that Leah performed at the basketball game and the court. That was like one of the best performances I've seen Leah do on this show. And that was a song that Lady Luck did and produced. And it was dynamite. And that's when the father said, hey, I want to sign you, because the production was done well, the song was done well, and her vocals were used well, because Chanel has an ear for music. She knows music. She's been in the game forever. And then Rondo says about Chanel, oh, she's all nervous and everything. I would be nervous too if I haven't performed since 1995. He is so shady towards Chanel. I mean, he has a real beef towards her. So, and Chanel believes that she's able to run Sugar Hill. She believes that she's able to do this. So we go to the first performance, and it's Leah. The song was terrible. It was awful. And the song that she performed, Rondo was the producer of that song, and he wanted her to perform his song, so Big Lee could see that he has an ear for music and he's talented and he's a producer wherever. But it was the wrong song of choice. Basically, it didn't really show her vocals. It was all over the place, as Big Lee said, and he was kind of disappointed, because he was like, she needs to pick a lane and stick with it. She needs, it was a slow song. Then first the dancing on stage, okay, that was confusing. Okay, so I was believing that it was gonna be up tempo and it was gonna continue to dance on stage, but it was a slow song for a young girl to be sitting in a chair singing and then doing a little butt thing. I felt uncomfortable with her doing that in front of her father, and he mentions that later on. Not that he was uncomfortable with that, like, damn, he was backing it up. So, and the outfit that she had on was beautiful. The leather pants, I loved it. But the green Michael Jackson type jacket that she came in, I would love to have that jacket. Green is my favorite color. All colors are green, and it was a remarkable jacket. So, her performance sucked. It was terrible. It was like it was amateur night at the Apollo, but worse. And Big Leonard felt it as well. Big Leon felt that way as well. So that was okay, So then next, you have the DJ competition, and Rondo gets on and goes, Rondo can do it. Rondo. And it was basically everybody, from Big Lee to Chanel to Donnell was like, Rondo, like, and hitting the button, like he didn't put any effort in, or he didn't try at all. And it's like, he didn't do anything. I don't know what the fuck was going on with his thing. I really thought that he was gonna really put a production together for himself and, really give Big Lee a run for his money. But he didn't. So that sucked. And also, Asini shows up to the show, and she's with her mom. And as she's entering, Darnell's like right, like maybe 6 feet away from her, and he acts like he doesn't see her, and and she acts like, okay, let me just say hi to this guy that's closer to me. And it was kind of awkward. And then Darnell felt like, why is she here? I wasn't expecting her to be here. But he immediately takes off, says hi to his aunts and other people, and then vanish from the scene. So the DJ competition, so Rondo sucked. And then Big Lee gets on, and he performs, the old school jam, and he does a little bit scratching, and then the artist comes on, and it's wonderful. And he actually put some thought into it. We all know Rondo didn't put any thought into it at all. And so I wrote a lot of stuff down, but I don't even know where it's at. I'm more confused. But everyone starts dancing, and then everyone starts to say, Rondo, you wasn't even competition. And they put the coat over Rondo's head, and they just like, okay, what did you do, Rondo? You just pretend like you was gonna do something and you didn't. Oh, I wanted to say he brought up Melly Mel, The Message, and I like that song, and everyone else did like the song too. They got up and they was dancing, so that was real nice. And after that, now it's time for Chanel to go on stage. Lady Luck. Lady Luck goes on stage. She kills it. Everyone's dancing. Everyone's like, oh my God, this song is hot. People got their hands up in the air. She does a wonderful job, and the song's a hit. It's her first hit single, and she did a wonderful job. And I was just trying to look up the name of the song. I did write it down, but she did a wonderful job. And then she also announced to everybody that she is marrying Samaya, and they're engaged or whatever. She made that big announcement. Then Big Lee got on the mic and said the lyrics of her song, and I just can't remember the lyrics of Chanel's song. And then also Anthony brings out the cookies and the cupcakes, and they were good. Darnell couldn't have any because he's a diabetic. And Leah says, this is a big step in Chanel's life, and I can't even be a part of it. I don't even know how to say anything. I didn't know it was that serious. And it was just, I felt like Leah was really upset that Chanel was spending more time with Samaya, because that's one of the reasons why she said she didn't want to work with Chanel anymore. And it was like, it's you. To me, I feel like it's Leah holding back, because Chanel wants to love Leah. Chanel wants to have a relationship with Leah because she believes in her as well. And she also still sticks up for Leah when anybody says anything about Leah. She still does, because she sees her potential and her talent, because she's worked with her. She produced songs for her, you know? So it's really weird that Leah feels that she can't go and say what's up to Chanel. Chanel is a very humble person, a very sweet person as well. Even like she said, just because I wear these type of clothes and my hat to the back, I'm really a sweet person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and you can see it when she's having conversation. She goes into a little girl's voice, because you know she's a compassionate person. So you know, everybody in the crowd cheers on Chanel. But before Chanel gets on stage, there's not the 3 mics. And then Chanel goes, there's a reason why I wanted fucking 3 mics. You know, Rondo says to Chanel, you want a Snicker? She was like, I don't want a fucking Snicker. Come here so I can talk to you face to face. And she's like, yo, I wanted 3 mics for a motherfucking reason. Because she has people on stage with her, you asshole. 3 wireless mics. But the way Darnell tried to slight her is so messed up, because it's like he would do anything to try to make Chanel look like a villain. But the way Chanel handled him and got the 3 wireless mics was like somebody that you would want to be producing your company, someone that can stand up for the artists, someone that can stand up for their self, someone that can get shit done, and someone that is not afraid and not timid, even though she's a compassionate person. So having both of them type of characteristics that she does have, to me, and then being in the business for a long time and knowing the music, she has to know the business inside and out, because that's all she wanted to do in her life, was be in the music business. So, and she has a lot of connects as well. So just to see how she handled her cousin, got him together, you could see her doing that for other artists and herself and for the company. Like she knows how to be nice and compassionate and humble, and she knows how to turn it on when she needs to. And it was funny when she called when she called Rondo and his friend Dumb and Dumber when they were leaving the dressing room. I was like, and then she also said, look at these janky promoters. So like, but I believe he heard what she said, and she's more upfront with everyone. She's not going to really talk. She's not going to talk behind your back or whatever. You know, like she has personal conversations with Samaya about Leah. Like she don't know whether she would say, hey Leah, good job, because she wants to support her, but she knows Leah ain't feeling her and just kicked her to the curb. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the relationship or she doesn't like that Leah is gay, because Leah said that she came out the closet recently or whatever, you know, when she was in her confessional. So what is it with Leah just dissing Chanel and then going to work with Rondo and doing the song for Rondo, at the performance place, and it was a doozy. It was terrible. If Chanel was in Leah's life as far as in the music lane. Leah would have did a dope song, a dope performance. It would have been pleasing to the crowd. She would have been using her vocals, and she would have been moving around, and it would have been in good taste. It wouldn't have been her sticking out her butt, and like, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that around my father, even though I'm an entertainer. But it's still like a family gathering, a family vibe, even though there's some extra people there. But that's just me. So Chanel goes on stage, she kills it. I already said that. And then Darnell goes on, and Darnell does a good job. The crowd is happy, they're clapping, and Leon is happy, and he is like, okay, Darnell really surprised me. Like, I didn't know he had this in him. And Darnell also says that my father's always been pushing me to the side, never really listened to my music. Maybe that was for a purpose. Maybe he wanted me to work harder and not feel like shit should be given to me, to make me stronger, to make me built for this game, built to run his company. So at least Darnell is seeing it like that now, more than just saying, oh, my father's just ignoring me. He's just throwing me to the side. I wish Uncle Joey was here. I don't want to say Uncle Joey like that. Like, it's not important when someone passes away that you love, but it's just that he gives him more credit than he does his father. And sometimes it be that way. Sometimes people are more closer to other people other than their parents, So he goes on, he does a great performance, and it was nice. And Leon gives a speech, and he says all these wonderful things about, us sticking together, staying together, and being a family and supporting each other. And he also realized that he needs to pass on his legacy to one of the kids. And he also knows it's time for new music. It's really time for new music. And he knows he doesn't really have the ear for all the new music yet. But he believes that these kids can do it one day. And Chanel's stepfather goes, this is the real empire. And then Leon says, yeah, So it was nice. He was about to cry. He had tears coming down his eyes. So basically, I guess the production went on well, even though they had a little cracks, but small cracks, basically the dressing room. But it's probably because of budgeting and everything. And Darnell's song was Nas, was NASA. And I just want to know what song Chanel performed. I can't find it. I know I wrote it down, and I know it was a very catchy tune, and it should be number 1 pretty soon. But Leon also says that he learned a lot about Chanel, that she's a hustler. She has the hustle in her that his kids don't have. Chanel goes out there and she wants it, she takes it. And she did a great job. And I have a lot of compassion for her, because that's all she wants from Leon and her family, the Robinsons. She just wants them to treat her like she is really blood. And basically she feels like she's not being treated that way. And Darnell kind of feels that way as well. But who knows? And so then now they get ready for the meeting. So all the kids get together. It's Chanel, Darnell, Rondo, Leah, and Antonio. But before that, we'll talk about Leo. Since he was locked up, he wasn't able to be at the presentation. So a bunch of models came out. It was for Sugar Hill merchandise, and the clothes looked terrible. The designs were terrible. The outfits was terrible. And Leon felt the same way. He was like, this is half-assed, even though, and he was saying that if Leo wants to be a part of Sugar Hill or ever run the company, he can't half-ass shit like this. And from what he sees now, that he can't even put him in the running. And basically there's a video of Leo saying, "Hey, I hope you enjoy the clothes and merchandise," and he wants to have a legacy to move forward in merchandising and merchandise of Sugar Hill Records. And he said he kind of left it in Rondo's hand. Terrible person to leave anything in his hands, because Rondo would kind of half-ass it, just because he's never really focused on the big picture. He's focused on the picture, but not all the most important parts of the picture. That's just my opinion. And so it looked terrible. And then, Leon says, cups, things from the old school, from the past, like it could really be something, but you got to put more work into it, basically. And he don't believe he put in enough work. He has to get out the streets and focus on the business. So now it's the next day, and also I'm forgetting Asini. Asini finally goes backstage into the dressing room or the dressing area where the presentation was put on for Leon, and she talks to Darnell, and she says to Darnell, "Did you miss me?" And she was like, "I miss you." And he was like, "Who invited you?" She was like, "Chanel. Also, you came here to see Chanel." And she was like, "No, I came to see everybody and support everybody, but I really wanted to see you, And he was like, "Oh, okay." And so she was like, "I missed you." And he was like, "Oh, I missed you too." And then his side confessional says, "I miss her, but I don't miss all the drama." Basically, I think Darnell is kind of done with the relationship, the drama and everything. Like, he's really focused on his career. He's focused on his business. And but I don't know if he's really done. Probably for that episode he was done. And Asini is very sweet. She seems like a really nice young girl, a young woman, and she's really pretty, and she's soft spoken when she's not fighting with Darnell. But there's a reason why she fights with Darnell, because they're both young. They go through shit like this, break up to make up, and they're both discovering their self and what they basically want to do in life. And I like that she does not have work done. She doesn't have a butt job. She doesn't have a breast job, facial job. She's just normal. She's just she's a real female. Like, she's real. And I like that she's real. I like that Chanel's real. I like that Leah's real. Like, they haven't did all this crazy stuff to their bodies to fit in. And I'm glad they enjoy their beauty, So... And he's looking at Asini like, damn, she's so gorgeous. And she is. And he's like missing that, but he's really trying to stay focused. And I believe Darnell could run the company, but his attitude sometimes, and then his health, he needs to take his health seriously and really make sure that he takes care of himself, because when he's not around, who's going to be running the place? I believe Chanel and Darnell are really good for running the company, in my opinion, from what I have seen. And plus, Chanel has so much experience, and she knows so much about music, and Darnell as well. He knows the inside and outside of the business, because he was with Joey for years. That's his second father. So then all the kids get together for the family meeting. They're all there, and I was glad that Antonio was there. And Leon Sr. starts off with Chanel, saying that, Chanel, I'm very proud of you. I love your music. It was, you are really a star. You're a super duper star. And it's just wonderful to hear and see you and see how your growth and everything. And Chanel says, all I wanted to do was please Leon. Leon Robinson, all I wanted to do was be signed to Sugar Hill. I just, that's all I eat, sleep, and rap for Sugar Hill my whole life. And that really hurt that all these years no one's seen her. And so you see why that she hasn't been elevated as she should be in the music business. Because I remember watching Lady Luck on YouTube videos, battle rapping and everything, and her judging battles, her at the club late night in the parking lot battling. And I really liked her. I liked her lyrics. I was like, yo, this chick is nice. And she can go toe to toe with the guys too. And boom, nothing. And that was years and years ago. And her family didn't even bother to be there for her, in my opinion, from what she says. Maybe there could be other things going on behind the scenes that I don't know about, or, I wouldn't know about because I don't know none of them. But I know she's an artist. I know she's talented, and she doesn't have a machine behind her. And Sugar Hill could have been a big machine behind her 7-8 years ago, And she was like, that's all I wanted to do. So just to see her say that, it's just like, yo, like, damn. And she's back here again trying to prove it and trying to have them support her again, and trying to show them that she's worth it, that she's worthy. And that's heartbreaking to me. Like, I wanted to cry. But also, I don't believe Leon was running the company at the time. But so then he goes over to his son Leo. Leo has to do more, way more than what he did, because that shit was tacky, basically. And then he asks Antonio, like, you're gonna have to make some Sugar Hill cookies, do something more than what he did, basically. Then he goes to Rondo, like, you really didn't do shit. You was subpar. Yeah, you got everybody together, but you're not a producer. Maybe you should stick to party planning, basically. And then Rondo's like, what? I put all this together. Yeah, it takes, just because you can put a party together, just because you can dance on stage and stuff like that, doesn't mean you have business sense and you're business wise, basically. And then he tells, Darnell that he was really proud of him. He surprised him. He was just great. He was phenomenal. That he was shocked he's a star. And then, Darnell also throws in that he's on Music Choice, and 50 million homes. And, and Darnell felt happy. Like, Darnell and Chanel, I'm telling you, they are just alike but don't know it. And if they can get past like some of the smart, slick shit, they could be dynamite together. So, he says how wonderful Darnell was, and he was just shocked, and he was so happy to see his son perform. And then also after Darnell performed, he said, "That's my son, Darnell Robinson." So that was nice too as well. And then he gets to Leah, and he's like, "Leah, your performance was okay, but you're gonna have to pick a lane. I want you to go outside of whoever your producers are, whoever you're working with, because you need to develop your own sound of music. You need something more than what you have." And she was like, "Oh, no. That's why I don't want to sign to Sugar Hill Records anyway. I want to do it on my own." And she was like, "That's what Grandma did." And then she also says that's what Janet Jackson did. And everyone's like, "Oh." And then Leah goes, "Be quiet." And then, Rondo says, "You got to get your feet in the door." And then this is Lady Luck sticking up for Leah. What do you mean your feet in the door when you own the house? Her father owns Sugar Hill. He's the president. So Chanel still sticks up for Leah, even though Leah slights her every chance she can get. So Big Lee says, like, I don't know what she's talking about. This is just. So it makes him see that, okay, the opinion that I thought of Leah being smart, being able to run this company, maybe it's not going to be a wise choice for now. And Leah also says that, Janet Jackson did it on her own and everything. And then you cut to the camera where Chanel is like, okay, that's where Janet got Rhythm of the Night, all that dancing and moving. She got it from her brothers. And if it wasn't for the Jackson 5s, they wouldn't have known nothing about Janet Jackson. And then she goes, Janet Jackson had a machine behind her, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she cannot take criticism. And she says, this is why I don't want to be signed to Sugar Hill Records. I want to build my own and then come back like grandma did. And then, her father says grandma did have people behind her. She started a label and she started a business. Then she moved forward and then came back. But she had people to help her. She had people outside of Sugar Hill, so creative wise, and so that's what he's basically trying to say to Leah. And Leah can't believe it because she, like she said, first to last, she's gonna be the best and she's better than everybody else that's there. Well, they all feel that way, but she cannot take the criticism at all. And I believe that she wants her father to just hand it over to her, and he's not. And that's why she doesn't want to sign to him. And then also, do you think, like, why don't she want to sign to her own family's label? And she says that out loud, and then you got Chanel over here talking about, I just wanted you guys to just look at me, and I just always wanted to be on Sugar Hill Records. And then you got this one like, fuck Sugar Hill. Like, whoa. And it's on TV. Like, it can leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth that want to do business with Sugar Hill, that their own daughter that's an artist don't want to be bothered with Sugar Hill. So basically, Big Lee feels like no one's ready to run the empire or run the company. And he's probably correct, but except for Chanel. I believe Chanel's ready. And she has what it takes. Probably needs more training on different things or whatever, but that's where secretary comes in. That's where you come in and training her, Big Lee. And also, I must mention, Leah also said that at this point, what she wants, Rondo says, why are you here then? And then Leah says, basically, at this point, I just want to know how to run the business and sign it out. That's what I want to learn. I don't want to be signed. I don't want to do music with Sugar Hill Records or whatever. So Big Lee idea is to give each and every one of these children their own label under Sugar Hill, and whoever is able to bring their label to the top and do the most with it will actually be able to run the company. And that's a very good idea, because if they can make their label number one and beat out the rest of the family members' labels, and actually production, managing money wise, and get things promoted and going forward, it's a step in the right direction to see who is a winner and who's not, who's all about talk. And Rondo, you was about talk with the DJ thing. I hope you're able to prove what you say, So it's game on. Hopefully there'll be another season. Hopefully there'll be season 2, and we can see how these young people put together their label, how they start, how they work from the ground up, how they promote, how they use music, how they advertise, how they market themselves, and what songs they put on a chart. Because you know what, it's a learning experience. It's like school, but it's the best school ever when you're giving your label. A lot of people don't get an opportunity like that, where you can actually have connections from your father or your uncle to get things going and get things started. And then on top of that, you're on a TV show that millions of people watch. So anyways, I hope you liked my review on the season finale of First Family of Hip Hop, season 1, episode 8. Hopefully there is a season 2, because I really enjoyed this show. This show brought out a lot of tender moments in me, because everything feels real. It doesn't feel contrived. It doesn't feel fake. It feels like every situation that they were going through with one another and each other, and the things that they said about each other, and the actions that they shown us seems real, that like it's not for the cameras. It's like they really have this beef with Chanel. Chanel really has this beef with her family. They're really doing music. They really got artists. They're really trying. They don't, they're not showing big ass mansions all over the place. And you have the mother, Chanel's mother and stepfather that are, they were Bible toting Jesus Christ people, and they kind of have an issue with being with gays in a way because of the Bible. and how they conquer that issue, how they support Chanel, and how sometimes it is hard for them to, but they do it anyway because they love her. I feel like that's real. And Darnell complaining about his father and wanting his Uncle Joey to be there. And then, Big Lee and all his baby mamas and his kids, they're getting along. The baby mama's getting along. And then Big Leo going to jail, for 360 something days. And he's talking to them over the phone, and then they're going to the cemetery and pouring out liquor, some real shit that I can relate to. I can't relate to the money stuff, but the struggles that you have, people that you want to support you, people that you wanted to believe in you, and when they don't, how it hurts. And how you try to keep fighting through all that. Everything is relatable in this show. A lot of things. And then, you have Big Lee with the old Nextel phone. And then when he turns on his phone, it goes, your phone has been disconnected due to payment. And he got money, Then you go to his office. It's all messy and shit, And then also, I got to throw in Leah eating out of the dog bowl. And then her brother watching her and let her eat out the dog bowl, Darnell, and then tells her, she's like, oh, that's so fucking nasty. Just things like that. And then, the housekeeper giving wisdom to Darnell, telling him that your father's not God. It has to be in you. God is in you. You have to believe in yourself, and seeing Darnell going out and believing in himself and getting our music choice. And seeing Chanel going to marry Samaya, and talking to her parents about her situation, coming out the closet, telling how she feels slighted and left out of her family, and things like that. And then, Antonio really didn't grow up with the family that much, but how he's in the picture, how they have him there. So a lot of things, and this show is very relatable and real, and I enjoy the show. So anyways, please like and subscribe to my channel and like the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. And thanks to everyone that, watched the video, and hopefully we have season 2, and it'll be awesome. Please leave your comments. Please ask me questions. It's greatly appreciated. Everything's appreciated. But this show really makes me humble inside, because it's like real jerking emotions. It's real. It's not fake. So peace out. One love.